I got that animal ambition. I got that animal ambition. I got that.
Hey y'all, Smoak here, what's good? This is gonna be part 6 of 11 dead wrestlers' first and last matches in WWE. Last video was the great, legendary Andre the Giant. This one is gonna be the recently passed, sadly, of Bray Wyatt. He was only in WWE for a short time, probably like, what, 8 years or something. And that also includes the time as Husky Harris. Like, Bray Wyatt was a cool character. When he became the Fiend with the Firefly Funhouse, I wasn't a fan of that, and I wasn't watching like that at the time neither. So, but whenever somebody brings up the Fiend, I'm just like, that's just, again, I'm the minority. Just want to see the wrestling for the wrestling. There's something over the top character like that just doesn't soothe me. But it soothes the majority, so that's cool, and that's what sells, Majority over minority anytime. He was in a pitch dark match, I think that's what it's called, against LA Knight. Bray Wyatt wins. My Uncle Howdy, he jumped off of a high structure to the table. Boom. Was that post match or during the match? I can't remember now. But yeah, it was okay match. It was just weird. I was like, what's this pitch dark match? It was just, it was heavily sponsored by Mountain Dew. It was a no hard barred match. And then after that, he been MIA since then. Well, either at the time or at least February. He haven't been on TV, and it was just odd at the time. I was like, yo, how come they made this big splash, but they're not doing anything with him? Well, it was because he was on medical leave, unfortunately. And then the news broke out. One time I was playing the game, scrolling through Twitter. I see Triple H tweet. I was like, what? I had to read it twice. That's normally the case when something tragic like that happens. You gotta read it twice to make sure what you read. It was like, wow, and it was crazy. Yeah, he was in his 30s, like mid to late 30s. It's always sad when a human being just passes away way before their time, especially as a loving husband and with 4 children too. That's just sad, bro. Let's take a peek at this video.
It isn't too surprising that Bray Wyatt became a WWE wrestler. Both his father and grandfather wrestled for the company, so wrestling was already in Wyatt's blood. Despite that, Bray Wyatt wasn't planning on becoming a wrestler, instead attending college on a football scholarship. However, in the middle of his education, Bray decided to drop out and change careers by following in the footsteps of his father and entering the world of wrestling. Bray Wyatt didn't go into it alone, as he was joined by his younger brother, Bo Dallas. They started their training at WWE's development system, FCW, in 2008. Wyatt had his first ever wrestling match in early 2009 and performed under the name Duke Rotundo, Rotundo being a reference to Bray Wyatt's real name, Wyndham Rotunda. He spent over a year in development before getting his shot in WWE. On season 2 of NXT, Wyatt was one of 8 rookies competing to become the next, quote, breakout star. Bray was renamed Husky Harris and paired with Cody Rhodes. The same night he debuted on the main roster, the future
I forgot who he was paired up with in NXT. That's cool.
Bray Wyatt had his first WWE match. Wyatt teams with his mentor Cody Rhodes in a match against MVP and his rookie, Showtime Percy Watson. Cody started as a legal man, and after wearing down Percy, Rhodes tagged in his rookie. Bray hit a handful of big moves on Showtime, including a splash into the corner, but soon tagged back out. Cody Rhodes continued to dish out punishment to MVP's rookie, but eventually got Bray Wyatt back into the match. Bray hit a massive senton, but missed an elbow drop, allowing Percy Watson to tag in MVP. Montel Vontavious Porter picked up the pace of the match and started laying into Bray Wyatt. Cody Rhodes tried to help his rookie, but had no luck. Showtime tagged back in, hit a finishing move, and got the pinfall victory over Bray Wyatt. The match was fine. While Bray wasn't actually Bray Wyatt yet, some of the moves he used as Husky Harris were the same that he would use as the Eater of Worlds. On that topic, how do you go from Husky to Bray? After several weeks on NXT, the third-generation wrestler was eventually eliminated from the competition. Wyatt would still be seen on the main roster, though. At Hell in a Cell 2010, he attacked John Cena during a match and soon joined the Nexus. The future Face of Fear stayed with the group for several months and remained a Nexus member even after CM Punk took over the faction. Wyatt's first run on the main roster came to an abrupt end, though, when Punk started feuding with Randy Orton. Bray, Husky Harris Wyatt, as well as the other Nexus members, would aid CM Punk, which ended up giving Wyatt a punch kick to the head. This was used to
That was in my hometown. I remember I was sitting. I'm pointing at the screen, but y'all can't see it. Well, I'm pointing to. But I was like where CM Punk is, a little bit to the left, all the way up top. That's where I was sitting at. Yeah, I remember when John Cena, he was sitting, he made an appearance, like a dramatic appearance. He was sitting among the crowds. He was sitting up top. I guess we see that purple light set, I think, somewhere around that region. I looked to my left and said, oh, snap, that John Cena. I was like, I wasn't close, but I was hella close. I said, damn. That's why I was like, damn, John Cena's big as hell, bro. You would think he's robotic. Oh, man.
Right,
Wait, I remember when Randy Orton punted him, though. I was like, oh, man, he's out. As a matter of fact, this is the last time he been on in a main roster before he was repackaged. Let's see.
members would aid CM Punk, which ended up giving Wyatt a punch kick to the head. This was used to write Bray off TV so he could be sent back to development to train further. During this time, Bray Wyatt dropped the Husky Harris character and developed a new, darker persona. This new character became known as Bray Wyatt, a creepy cult leader, and debuted in FCW in 2012. Shortly after Bray's debut, FCW would come to an end and NXT became WWE's new development system. Bray Wyatt moved over to this new brand and promo videos started airing on the show. These gave fans insight into who Wyatt was and ultimately built to Bray Wyatt's first official match as Bray Wyatt. Before the ring announcer could introduce him, Bray Wyatt already had a mic in his hand. He described himself to fans as the Angel in the Dark and that they'd be finding out more about him soon. Wyatt's debut match was against future vaudevillain Aiden English, who was NXT's resident enhancement guy at the time. Bray's first move was to kick English in the gut and wear him down. The action went to the floor, where the cult leader continued to dish out punishment and smiled as he did it. Bray displayed his strength by getting English back into the ring and lifting the 215-pound man over his shoulder. Wyatt then sent his entire body crashing into Aiden English and hit Sister Abigail to close out his debut match. The entire contest was just under 2 minutes, so not a whole lot to this one. The main purpose, though, was to give an official introduction to Bray Wyatt and give a live showcase of the Wyatt character.
Gotta showcase your talent in wrestling matches.
Fans seemed to like the character almost instantly too, as they chanted Wyatt during the match. This was truly only the beginning, because, following his debut, Bray would go on to form the Wyatt family. He introduced 2 followers he called sons, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Bray Wyatt guided Harper and Rowan to victory when they became NXT Tag Team Champions. Around the same time, creepy videos would be shown on Raw, warning the main roster of the Wyatt family's arrival. Their first target was Kane, with the trio attacking the Big Red Machine on Raw. This set up the Bray Wyatt character's first match on the main roster. Considering both Bray and Kane were 2 of the most supernatural characters in WWE, it only made sense they fought in an Arena of Fire match, with help from Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Bray got a huge win by defeating the Devil's favorite demon. Wyatt continued to destroy the WWE roster, picking up wins over mainly smaller names. The Wyatt family then moved on to a rivalry with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, which began after Luke Harper lost a match to Punk. Despite the Wyatt's dominance, the Best in the World and the GOAT out-wrestled the family on multiple occasions. Things changed though when Bray and his followers singled out Bryan. After multiple beatdowns, Daniel Bryan gave in and became the 4th member of the Wyatt family. It turned out to be a bad acquisition though, because not only did the Wyatt family stop winning after Bryan joined, but when Bray went to punish him, Daniel turned on him and left the group. The Eater of Worlds got his revenge at the 2014 Royal Rumble by beating Daniel Bryan, although their paths would cross again years later. Later that same night, Wyatt, Harper, and Rowan attacked another major star, John Cena. Bray later explained that he wanted to show that Cena's heroic characteristics were fake, and his intentions were to change the face of WWE into a monster. At WrestleMania 30, Bray and Cena went one-on-one, and, despite interference from the Wyatt family, John Cena stood triumphant and became the first person to pin the new face of fear. Bray would avenge his loss a month later at Extreme Rules, but it didn't really matter, since he and Cena faced off in a third match where the 16-time world champion literally buried Wyatt under a pile of equipment cases. After that rivalry, Bray feuded with another WWE veteran, Chris Jericho. This one went a bit better, with Jericho only defeating Bray Wyatt once and Wyatt beating Y2J twice, one of which was at SummerSlam. After this, the Wyatt family broke up after Bray set Luke Harper and Eric Rowan free. This meant for the first time in his WWE career, Bray Wyatt was a singles competitor. His first solo rivalry started at Hell in a Cell 2014. Bray interfered in a match between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, causing Ambrose to lose. This began a feud that continued through the rest of 2014 and ended in early 2015. Out of the 5 matches Dean and Bray had, Wyatt won 4 of them, which was a nice comeback after his 2 previous rivalries with Cena and Jericho. After his successful feud with the Lunatic Fringe, Bray Wyatt went after another legend, The Undertaker. At Fastlane, Bray officially challenged the Dead Man to a match.
Before you could tell, I want to say, you could tell this man was really feeling Bray Wyatt when he was making this video, bro. Cause he's going all in. He added other detail too compared to other wrestlers, but he's going all out on this one, bro. You know what? I appreciate that. No cap. When you're excited, bro, you gotta show it.
Match, and after another legend, The Undertaker. At Fastlane, Bray officially challenged the Dead Man to a match at WrestleMania, which Taker accepted. Like the previous year, though, Wyatt fell victim to the Tombstone Piledriver and left the grandest stage of them all in defeat. The next major rivalry for the Eater of Worlds was against Roman Reigns. Wyatt would cost Reigns the Money in the Bank contract, setting up a match at Battleground. Thanks to interference from Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt defeated the Big Dog and reformed the Wyatt family. Eric Rowan eventually came back too, as well as a new member, Braun Strowman. The revived Wyatt family picked up some wins, such as at TLC over the ECW Legends, but also had their fair share of losses, like against the Brothers of Destruction at Survivor Series, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, or against The Rock and John Cena at WrestleMania 32. In 2016, Bray's career hit a bit of a roadblock when he suffered an injury while WWE was
I forgot John Cena and The Rock teamed up again at WrestleMania. Well, there goes that Survivor Series tagline, never before, never again. For those that knows.
touring Europe. 16, Bray's career hit a bit of a roadblock when he suffered an injury while WWE was touring Europe. He wasn't gone for long though, and once he returned, the Wyatts had a feud with the WWE Tag Team Champions, The New Day. The family beat the champs at Battleground, however, the tag titles were not on the line. Shortly after the big win, the group was split up, with Strowman going to Raw while Bray and Harper went to SmackDown. The split ended up being a great move for Bray Wyatt's career. He began a feud with Randy Orton when Wyatt called Orton damage. They were set to face off at Backlash, but Wyatt attacked the Viper before their match started, allowing Bray to win by forfeit. The two men with Ys at the end of their names went at it once more at No Mercy, where Wyatt won again thanks to help from Luke Harper. Despite their rivalry, Randy Orton surprised everyone by joining Wyatt and Harper and creating the third incarnation of the Wyatt family. They went after the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Rhino and Heath Slater, defeating them at TLC. The group utilized the Freebird rule, making the SmackDown Tag Team Championship the first title Bray Wyatt won in WWE. The celebration was short-lived, however. Just a few weeks later, the Wyatt family lost the titles in a match where Luke Harper and Randy Orton were defending them. Tempers began to flare because of the loss, leading to a match between Orton and Harper. Randy won that match, causing Bray to attack Harper afterward and exile him from the group. Not long after winning his first championship, Bray Wyatt won another. At the 2017 Elimination Chamber, Bray outlasted 5 other men to win the WWE title. A massive accomplishment for a guy who used to be called Husky Harris. Randy Orton had won the Royal Rumble about a month earlier, but agreed not to challenge Bray. With his full trust, Wyatt gave Orton access to the Wyatt family compound. It turned out the whole thing had been a trick, and the Viper burned down the compound and challenged Bray to a match at WrestleMania. Things only got worse as Bray Wyatt fell victim to the RKO and lost his third WrestleMania match as well as the WWE Championship. Bray would defeat Orton.
I remember that finish being lackluster as hell, if I remember correct. Because I think it was a short match. It was like, what, 8 to 10 minutes long? It was wild.
In their rematch at Payback, but like with Battleground 2016,
Yeah, I just checked. It was 10 minutes and 30 seconds. It was, and not just the finish. The whole match was like iffy.
Bray would defeat Orton in their rematch at Payback, but like with Battleground 2016, the match was non-title, meaning Wyatt didn't win back the WWE Championship. Around this time, Bray Wyatt was moved to Raw. He had a few minor feuds, but things really got good when he started a rivalry with Matt Hardy. After defeating Hardy in a match, Matt reverted to his broken persona, or Woken as he is now being called. They played mind games with each other and continued having matches, with both wrestlers trading wins and losses. The rivalry built to the Ultimate Deletion match, where the Woken one defeated the Eater of Worlds. Afterward, Matt took the battle a step further and threw Bray into the Lake of Reincarnation. Wyatt wasn't seen again until WrestleMania 34 when he helped his former enemy win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy were now working together, and soon after, they won the Raw Tag Team Championship. Unfortunately,
This is all new to me, bro.
in their first title defense, they lost the belts to Curtis Axel and Bray's brother, Bo Dallas. Afterward, Matt Hardy took time off to heal his injuries, and Bray Wyatt would also disappear from WWE. In April 2019, weird videos of disturbing puppets began playing on Raw and SmackDown. Bray Wyatt returned later, appearing in some kind of children's TV show called the Firefly Funhouse. He would interact with the previously mentioned puppets, which were references to different parts of Wyatt's career, like Huskus the Pig Boy, who represented Husky Harris.
Wow.
The Firefly Funhouse would slowly become darker, with Bray symbolically destroying his old self. This led to Wyatt introducing a new masked persona called the Fiend. Eventually, Bray Wyatt as the Fiend would leave the Firefly Funhouse and begin attacking the WWE roster. The first victim was Finn Balor, whom Wyatt defeated quickly at SummerSlam. The Fiend continued attacking people and began using the Mandible Claw to incapacitate them. After putting everyone on notice, the Fiend set his sights on the Universal Champion, Seth Rollins. Fitting with Wyatt's new character, Seth and the Fiend went to war inside Hell in a Cell. Seth hit a ridiculous amount of curb stomps, and the fight ultimately ended by referee stoppage. Wyatt and Seth went at it again.
So I wasn't watching the product at all, at least the TV show. I will catch PLEs here and there. And I came to an unfortunate of coming across Hell in a Cell. Watched the match, the main event, I believe it was. It was a shit show. It was truly unbelievable.
At Crown Jewel, and the fight ultimately ended by referee stoppage. Wyatt and Seth went at it again at Crown Jewel, and this time, the Fiend beat Rollins and became the new Universal Champion. Following the victory, Bray had two different versions of the Universal Championship that he would use. The first was the normal belt that his Firefly Funhouse character would have. The other was a creepy black and red leather belt with his face in the middle. The Fiend's first challenger was actually an old rival, Daniel Bryan. Like Bray Wyatt did in 2014, the Fiend defeated Daniel, once at the 2019 Survivor Series, and again at, ironically, the